My name is BEV30401, matrix number AE190061, and I'll be explaining the procedure on how to turn on MSB system. First, we need to observe and recognize there are two MSB, which is MSB1 and MSB2. For the first step, we need to turn on the incoming supply for MSB1 right here. We switch it, and after that we check the main supply at Lvsb. After we give Lvsb power supply, the second step, we need to connect ACB to bus bar, which is a circuit breaker. To do that, we need to use a racking handle that is located inside the compartment of ACB, which looks like this. We need to put it into slot at the ACB, but before that, we need to make sure the ACB is in off condition, and also the status is in isolated position. And after that, we slot in the racking handle and turn it clockwise, which is like this, slowly until the status for the ACB from isolated to connected condition. After the ACB is connected to the bus bar, we need to remove the handle, racking handle, and put it inside the compartment bag. For the coil inside of the ACB, we need to charge it manually by pull up and down the charging handle on the side of ACB several times until the discharge position turn into charge position. And after that, we turn on the ACB and check the bus bar supply is already energized. To proceed, before we proceed to other step, we need to inform the end user to prevent from any accident happen. And after that, we turn on the MCCB by switch on the power factor capacitor bank right here. And after we turn on the power factor capacitor bank, we turn on for other MCB, depends on the need. And last, after we switch on the MCCB, we check the current status of the system by observing the increment of the current for the system. And after that, we observe the MSB1 is energized, and we give the supply to the consumers. The step for MSB2 are the same as MSB1, which we need to repeat from turn the incoming supply process until the turn on the MCCB, depends on the needs. That's all.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akir Shadi bin Azid and my machine number is BA190184. And in this part of the video, I'll be talking about the process of coupling between MSB1 and MSB2. Here we have this part right here is our MSB1 and this part right here is our MSB2. So in our situation right now, we want to conduct a maintenance process at our MSB1. So in order to do that, we first need to to inform our consumer that we will cut off their supply. So after we have informed our consumer, then we can proceed to cut off the supply. First we need to cut off the load here, which is we flip the switch here, here, and also here. And after we done that, we need to cut off our power factor capacitor bank, which is here, which is just flip the switch here. And after we have cut off our load, we can monitor our current status of the load at our digital meter here, and we show 0 ampere for our current status. And after that, we can proceed to turn off our ACB. We just need to flip the cover here and turn off the switch of ACB. And after we have flipped the switch, we can monitor our bus bar supply here. Light indicator is turned off. And after that, we can proceed to turn off our power supply from the isolator, which is back here on the side. And after we have done that and we flip the switch, you can see that our main supply light indicator also will be turned off. Then we can know that our MSB1 is fully energized, de-energized. So after we have done that, we can draw out our ACB here. You just simply open the panel box here. And after we open our panel box here, there's a draw handle over here that we can pull out and use to draw out the ACB here. You simply insert a hole over here, and we just need to turn it counterclockwise until the ACB is disconnected from the isolator. And after that, we can proceed to do the maintenance of the ACB by taking it out. Okay, but after that, we need to close the panel and put a sign that we are doing maintenance work. Okay, that's one part, and then the next part is the coupling process. First, what we need to do is that we need to take out the ACB key, which we need to the coupling process. What we need to do is we need to press the off button and turn it counterclockwise and pull it. And after we have our ACB key, then we can obtain our two keys at the isolator up here. What we need to do is we need to put our key here and counterclockwise as well, and then we can pull out our two keys here. And after we have obtained our two keys, then we can proceed to put our one key in the first isolator at MSB1 and the second key at the isolator number 2. And after that, we can proceed with our coupling process. Okay, in our situation right here, MSB1 is de-energized and MSB2 is fully functional. So what we want is that MSB2 is to feed MSB1. And in order to do that, our procedure is to turn on our isolator at MSB2 first, and then our MSB1. After we have turned on our isolator for both MSB, we can see that our bus bar supply light indicator here will turn on, meaning that MSB1 is fully energized. And after that, we have our supply coming from MSB2. What we need to do is inform our consumer that we will turning back on the load for their preparation. So after we have informed our consumer, then what we need to do is we need to turn on our capacitor bank first. After we have turned on our capacitor bank first, and then we can proceed to turn on back all of our load. And that is the process of coupling between MSB2 and MSB1, and then we can proceed with our maintenance work with the ACB. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Amirul Akmal bin Zuaidi and my matrix number is DE190203. Okay, so in this activity, I will conduct a procedure on how to restore back a normal power supply at the Lvsb. Okay, so before we touch anything at our Lvsb, we need to inform to the consumer about the restoration of power supply that we're going to do, right? So once they're ready for that, the first thing that we need to do is we need to turn off the power supply that are going to be fed at the load. Okay, so we need to push this button, push this button, push this button, push this button to turn it off. Alright, and then we need also to turn off the power factor capacitor bank. Alright, so we push this button. Okay, so after we have done that, we need to check the current status at the digital multimeter, and the reading should be 0. Okay, so after we have ensured the current status, we need to turn on this device. Right, so this is indicator C1. Okay, so for current position it will be like this, right? So off. Okay, so the way how we want to turn it on is by we need to hold it like this, and then we have to push it up, okay, or push it anti-clockwise. Okay, so after we have turned it on, we will notice that at the indicator light at the top, right, for red, yellow, blue, it will turn off. Okay, it means that the supply at the bus bar, at the outgoing bus bar, has been cut off. Okay, right, so after that we move to MSB2. Alright, so this is MSB1 and this is MSB2. So this is isolator C1. So we will do the same as we did at isolator C1. Right, so we need to turn it on. Alright, so for current condition it will like this, off. Right, so we hold like this and then we push it up or push it anti-clockwise. Okay, so and next to it we can see a key, which is the key for the isolator C2, sorry. And then we remove the key and then we bring it here at this place, and we can see a hole for three key, which is for at position 1, position 2 and position 3. Right, so for this key we will insert at position number 3. Okay, and then the isolator C1, it has a key next near to it. Right, so we just remove the key and then we insert at position number 1. Okay, so once we have placed a key at two key at position 1 and position 3, the SCB key at the middle or at the position number 2, we can simply pull it off, okay, or we can remove it. Alright, so we remove it to be used at the SCB. Okay, right, so this SCB has completed maintenance. Alright, and we just put it back at its original place. Okay, so the SCB key, we insert it here at this hole, and then we turn it clockwise. Okay, turn it clockwise to lock the position. Okay, but before we continue with the SCB, we need to supply voltage, or we need to make sure that the MSB1 has a power supply. Alright, so we need to go to the side of this Lvsb, and then we can see an isolator, and it looks like a V, right? V, and we have to push down. Okay, so that the MSB1 has power supply. Okay, then we continue with our SCB again. Right, so we need to open the door, open this door, open the MSB door, and then we can see a draw out handle inside the MSB, and then we take the draw out handle, right, and then at the end of the draw out handle, we need to insert it at this hole. Right, we insert like this, and then we have to rotate it clockwise. Right, we have to rotate it clockwise. Alright, and at the same time we need to make sure that the indicator light, it will light up at the there is 1, 2, 3 place for the indicator light, and make sure it will light up at the third one from left. Okay, then we rotate until it light up. It means that the SCB has been connected to the bus bar. Alright, so we just stop doing that, then we open back this door, and then we simply put the draw handle inside the MSB. Okay, then we close the door. Then so we have done two things, which is we have locked the position for the SCB, and then we have already connect the SCB with the bus bar. Alright, so next we have to charge the SCB. Alright, so the way how we want to charge the SCB is there is handle at the SCB body. Alright, so we have to hold the handle, and then we have to pull it down and then push it up, pull it down, push it up a few times until it states that the SCB is charged, and we can see it is in yellow color. Okay, and then after that we have to pull up the cap, and then we just simply press the on button. Okay, but we need to be careful when we press the on button, because SCB is a bit danger. Okay, right, so once we have turned on the SCB, we have to check the volt the indicator light for the outgoing. Okay, for the outgoing, right? And then we need also to look at the voltage status, right? All right, so after we have complete with the ACB, it means that the MSB1 is ready to supply voltage to the load, right? So again here, okay, we have to turn on the power factor capacitor back, right? So we push back this button, right? So push back to turn it on, right? And then after it has on, we have to turn on the power supply to be fit to the load again. Okay, so we turn on, and turn on, right? So after we have turned on, we have to wait for a while, which is we have to make sure that this Lvsb is work properly, all right? And then at the digital multimeter, if there is any usage, then we can see an increment, right? An increment, all right? And then so after we have complete restore back a power supply, a normal power supply, we just need to have a logbook, and then we have to record everything that we have did or we have done in the logbook. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you.